Hey guys, Killix here, multi-rank 1 Holy Paladin, Mythic plus title holder every single tier, and today I'm bringing you a pull-by-pull breakdown of Cinderbrew Meadery on a plus 19 key as a Holy Paladin in the War Within Season 2. This isn't just a basic dungeon guide, I'm walking you through every pull, every cooldown, and every decision I make, from positioning to utility to burst healing. Let's get into it. This first pull, what I normally do is I will freedom the tank about 2 seconds before the gates open just to give him a little tiny speed boost. Doesn't really do much, but something that I like to do. The other thing is I'm going to put a caster, a pyromaniac on focus and kick him the entire time. I run in, I put down a consecrate, and I run backwards and I pot. I'll usually judgment and then holy prism myself and then spam shield of righteousnesses. And as soon as the damage comes out, you want to press wings and divine toll your party. You want to cleanse the pyromaniac debuff instantly, and at the same time you're just trying to keep down consecrates and judgments as much as you can and just spam kicking the boiling flames from the pyromaniacs and cleansing on cooldown. And anytime somebody gets a chair thrown at them, you want to watch their health, and if they're low health, you want to bop them to prevent that physical throw chair damage. Ideally you want to use your bubble around half health on the muscles. And you want to kind of just heal as you need to heal and do damage as you need to do damage. Ideally, if you're doing a lower key on this, I would say like a 17 or an 18, I would just focus completely on healing rather than doing damage like I am, because I'm min-maxing damage and healing at the same time. So I'm kind of weaving in both as well. This next pull is very easy. Just put the pyromaniac on focus, spam that consecrate, spam judgments on cooldown. Basically spam judgments and consecrate on cooldown the entire key, every single key. Pre-cleanse the debuff that goes out before the AoE happens. Try to divine protection wall every AoE as much as you can and interrupt the ad. And there's really no rush to top everyone off here as long as you top them before the next AoE that Chewie does. Okay, so the AoE is coming out right now. I wog myself because I'm really low health. Other than that, I'm just doing damage and passively healing my group. We have plenty of time to top everyone before the next AoE happens. Just doing damage, cleansing, kicking. You don't really need to stun any of these ads. You just have to kick and cleanse. That's really it. And we're dodging these swirlies as well the entire time. Once again, just doing damage. Pressing wings on cooldown here, because we're going to do another pull. I have to heal my druid there for a second. I didn't really need to heal my druid there, but panic healed him anyways. Cleanse the debuff. Ideally, you also want to put the new pyromaniac on focus so you can get in those kicks for that free holy power. But we're focusing on Chewie right now. Putting this guy on focus. We're going to pull the boss here. We're going to cleanse first. Now during this boss, it's a little tricky because if you're doing this on a very high key level, this boss, the throw Cinderbrew mechanic that goes on 2 random people in your group, it could actually 3-shot people. So you need to rotate cooldowns defensively properly, and you need to spam heal that person. Okay, now we're going to be keeping on the first pull of the dungeon, you want to beacon the tank and the boomy. Other than that, on this fight, on pretty much every single boss fight, you want to beacon 2 DPS, ideally both of the range. And you don't want to swap your beacons in between mechanics because that's too much of a global. Ideally, you're just like spam wogging both of the throw Cinderbrews and rotating cooldowns properly, like defensive cooldowns properly. That is the hardest mechanic of this fight, is the throw Cinderbrew mechanics, the 2 debuffs that go out. Other than that, don't really need to pop anything for anything else. As you can see here, I'm just trying to pat on these ads, just trying to do as much damage as I can. My tank is taking a little bit of damage, so I'm going to wog him and holy prism him. I'm going to cleanse the debuff instantly. Now, this is very important here, right? If you are pulling pyromaniacs on the boss, you need to make sure that your range DPS are spam kicking them whenever they cast. And this is the other key important thing. If a Pyromaniac magic debuff happens during a throw Cinderbrew debuff, you need to make sure you hodge it right before the Cinderbrew comes out. Otherwise, what's going to happen is it's going to cast the debuff during the Cinderbrew, and you're going to be forced to cleanse during the Cinderbrew, and somebody might die because of it. So like right here, I'm forced to cleanse. Right there, you saw how I had to cleanse during the Cinderbrew. Somebody could have died there if there was an extra tick of the debuff, right? So I ended up bubbling that. That was a good bubble actually, because the boss is pretty low health, and I'm gonna need bubble in one of the next pulls. I don't have wings. I don't really want to AM here. I do have Divine Toll, which I need to kind of save for the next pull. Cleanse the debuff, kill that ad. Ideally, you never want to pull 2 of these caster ads, because you get 2 debuffs like we just did right there, and I have to spam heal that one. Then I cleanse it. But now I have like no healing for the Cinderbrew, right? But luckily I get a Divine Purpose proc. I get a Wings proc, and cleanse myself. You see how I just had to cleanse myself during the Cinderbrew? You don't want that, right? So you wanna offset the Pyromaniac ad to put out the debuff when there is no Cinderbrew coming out. Otherwise, if you cleanse mid Cinderbrew, it's gonna be extremely risky and somebody might die. So like here, the boss is very low. I don't want to press wings here because the next pull is actually pretty hard itself. I need to save wings for that. For some reason my game froze here. I'm not okay. Get the debuff out, cleanse myself. Going for the next pull. This next pull, you want to beacon the tank. And I normally beacon myself, but I chose to beacon the druid here. And you want to put the purveyor on focus and spam kick the volley, because if a volley goes off on this pull, you're most likely going to wipe. As well as the big dude, the harvester. He's going to cast an AoE every now and then, and it's going to put a stack. Put a stack on your party. That's going to increase the damage of the next AoE. So the AoE ramps up, so you want to hard focus that big harvester and kill him as soon as possible. But you also want to kick the wrangler and kick the purveyor volley. Your job this pull is going to be just to put the purveyor on focus, spam, keep your party alive, keep down judgments, keep down consecrates, cleanse the tank whenever he gets 2 or 3 stacks, and then rotate cooldowns defensively for the wrangler line frontal, and make sure you move out of the frontals from the wrangler. You can pick up this thing if you're an engineer. You need level 25 engineering. This thing does an absurd amount of damage, right? So ideally, you just want to, what you want to do here is you want to judgment, and then you want to consecrate, and then you want to use your flamethrower ASAP, and then you judgment right out, right? But here I was forced to cleanse the tank. I wasn't able to judgment for a couple seconds, and I want to just keep my party alive right now because we're starting to die. My mage is going to take that hit there, but he outranges it. Range, you can outrange that wrangler mechanic to take 0 damage. So I'm just keeping my party alive, doing as much damage as I can. The harvester is about to die before the second AoE comes out, but you usually have to heal to 2 or 3 AoEs depending on the pug. On this pull, I decided to kick the wrangler because I don't want it to empower the ads. I sacked the druid there, but I didn't need to because he was out of range. He was max ranging it, but that's fine. There's no more damage coming out on this pull, so there's no need to panic. Now, the reason you do these 2 pulls here on the side is for lust timings, okay? Because the way lust lines up, when you go left after the first boss, you're not going to have lust for one of the biggest pulls in the dungeon, arguably the hardest pull in the dungeon. So you go right and you clear 1 or 2 trash packs, and then when it's about 2 minutes left on lust, you go left. Right here, we have another flamethrower. I picked this up. Ideally here, you want to stealth path this, CC this. And in this next pull, as soon as it groups up, you wanna judgment a mob, put down a consecrate, and put down another consecrate, and cast your flamethrower, right? So we judgment, we consecrate, we heal the tank here, and as soon as the mobs are stacked, ideally here I should have judged first, and then I cast flamethrower. A little derpy here with the charge. I should have aimed it to the wall on the right. But it's fine. The whole point of this pull is just live. Now the reason the tank is tanking it where it is right now is because a eventually on a certain key level, you're not going to have enough damage to kill the brews, the brew totems that spawn. So you're going to have to line of sight them. Okay, and you see where the druid is on the right side, where I'm about to head right now. You can go over there and line of sight them. Right, so this set that spawns right now, we're going to line of sight. When the big guy dies, make sure you move out the puddle. When the ads die, move out the puddle. Just keep putting out consecrates, keep putting out judgment. Cleanse when you need to. So I cleanse myself instantly so my party doesn't take damage from my circle. And you're just spam healing this pool, man. This pool is crazy. The next pool is even crazier. That's why we lust the next pool. You'll see why it's so crazy. We're going to line of sight on the left here again. I think these totems are going to die, so we're not going to need to line of sight. Ideally here, you want to kick. Your number one prio kick is the Pyromaniac channel, and then it's the Tester spill, and then whatever else comes. Or Rejuvenating Honey. The Rejuvenating Honey is not that important to kick, but you should try to kick it anyways if you have a free kick. So right here, our mage is going to skip because our Demon Hunter wants to hold Fear Sigil. So our Demon Hunter is going to incap the mob. Normally, the Demon Hunter skips this, but our mage is going to skip it. We're going to go in the corner. We're going to run past as soon as the mobs are gone. And then we're going to Shroud here because we're going to skip this. We want to skip this pack. Ideally, I should have used my Autumn on myself here so I have wings on pull instantly. I think I Autumn myself here. So we go in the corner. We drop down a Consecrate. And I start ramping for the heal. I sack the tank on pull here. I swap Beacon to myself. I need to get tears up. Spam heal myself. Spam heal the tank. I press wings. This first set of totems is going to die. Now the same thing again with the totems. We're tanking it in that specific corner right there because you can line of sight these totems, and whoever gets the charge just moves to the right behind those barrels, and it instantly charges the big hobgoblin right there, and it stops the charge. So now we're going to run over here to the right because the puddle just dropped. The new batches are going to drop, but we don't really have damage for these, so we're going to line of sight them. We're going to line of sight them on the left. Now we took 0 damage from those batches and we completely ignore them. Now another key important mechanic here that you need to pay attention is your party is that jug that's being thrown at people on my raid frames. If that goes off on a person, they're going to take a ton of damage and you need to spam heal them. Okay. Because they could potentially get one shot. The free samples that's kickable, if that goes off, you need to heal that person immediately. Because if like 2 or 3 goes off on the same person, it's going to one shot them. You see how one of them just took me to 40% health? If 2 of those had gone off right there, I would have died. Now right here, we're going to do a pretty big pull. I think normally in lower key levels, you don't really do this pull because it has a ton of casters. This is 4 casters, so it's 4 debuffs and 4 channels at the same time, right? But with the routing that we have here, we're kind of forced to do this pull. So I'm going to AM the first AoE. As you can see, these debuffs are going out, and I can't cleanse them, right? Because I can't cleanse every single one. Now I'm trying to kick free samples as well, and I'm trying to keep us alive without having to cleanse. Right here, I'm going to get a free sample thrown at me, and I just need to spam heal myself because I have the debuff as well, right? So I could get one shot there. Keep down consecrates. My druid's gonna get the debuff. I sack my druid there because I don't want to cleanse the druid right there because my cleanse came up 3 seconds into the debuff, so there's no point to cleanse that debuff. Might as well save cleanse for the next debuff. My mage is about to take a ton of damage right here, right? So he re-healed it. Cleanse myself. I don't have to cleanse the mage. I don't have cleanse for the druid, so I'm going to have to spam heal the druid. Keep down consecrate as much as I can. The last mobs. Now, this next boss is actually quite a bit healing intensive. You're going to want to swap beacon on the mage and the druid. Hopefully I do that. Yeah, I did that. Okay. And the Sprouting Stout AoE is going to happen every now and then. You need to try to have Divine Toll up for every single one. Right here, I don't think I have it up till the second tick. So I Holy Light, Wog, and then I Prism. Or not Prism, sorry. Divine Toll. The Wings proc. Right here, you're really just focusing on dodging puddles and keeping your team alive. So ideally, in a Sprouting The other mechanic is going to be burning fermentation. 2 people are going to get a magic debuff. You need to cleanse one of them instantly, and then spam heal the other one till your cleanse is back up again. Okay. Now, on certain key levels, you might not have to cleanse that person, but on this key level, we're going to spam cleanse on cooldown. So we're going to prepare for the second sprouting stout here. So we're going to tears, we're going to autumn, and ideally we want to have holy prison for this, but we don't. So we judgment, keep down consecrate, and pre-holy light, divine toll, and just spam wogs on people that need it. So my druid almost died there. Prism the boss. Ideally, you want to prism yourself or a team member that's low health to pat on these ads to help kill them. And you want to keep down consecrates and judgments on these ads to help kill them. Debuffs coming out right here. I cleanse the mage. I should be okay. I have heals on myself. Ideally, in this situation, I should cleanse myself and let the mage use a personal cooldown like altar or something. Third stout is coming right now. I don't have any cooldowns here, so I can either wall here and try to heal through it, or I could bubble it. I think I'm just trying to heal. You have plenty of time to heal this. Just make sure you heal every person at least once that needs healing. We're going to keep down judgments. We're going to keep down consecrates. We're just absolutely destroying these ads. And the mistake I made here is that I got one shot right there. When these ads die, you need to move a lot faster so you don't get stuck like I did just there. Right? And then that was unfortunate because the magic debuff came out as it happened, and it went on me, of course, and it one-shot me because I was at 40% health. We're going to get one more sprouting stout here. We're going to prepare her with tears, and we could aim this as well, or we could just heal through her with divine toll, wall, and just spam wogs. Which, most likely I don't AM because I want to try to save AM for the next pull, the next area. And right here, we make the decision, somebody makes the call to kill the boss instead of killing the ads, which was a really good call. We have plenty of damage to kill the boss. The boss dies, and we go next. We got debuffs out. I cleansed one of them, but they expire because the boss died. Now, in this next area, there's going to be a couple things you need to focus on. It's going to be the tank debuff. Normally, you would swap beacon to the tank here because the tank actually takes a heavy amount of damage here. Don't do what I did and consecrate judgment the mob that he feared, because that could have, if that broke, that would have been a mess. So you see the tank got 6 stacks of the magic debuff and I cleansed it instantly. The other thing is this debuff right here. You need to make sure that you're not stopping this debuff too many times. So the Wranglers target a random person and it does a frontal. You can max range it if you want to. I wouldn't recommend max ranging it as a Holy Paladin because you always want to be in melee, dropping down consecrates and stuff. But you can stop these with stuns and blinds, but they'll keep recasting it till they cast it. I recommend not spam stunning this unless it is happening during a Harvester AoE, right? Because if you're spam stunning and stopping every single Wrangler, what can happen is what just happened to me, right? There were spam. So we were spam stunning and stopping the Wranglers. And what can happen that's really bad here is you could run out of stops while the Harvester is casting an AoE and the Wrangler goes off and it just one-shots somebody. So you want to eat those Wrangler frontals kind of early before the AoE, the Harvester AoE is not happening with some sort of a defensive. And you also want to kick the Purveyors, the volleys. Do not let the volleys go off or they will probably wipe you, and kick the Bestial Wrath from the Wranglers. So you can see like this key is not clean. It's messy and we're making a ton of mistakes, but we're still going, right? So right here, another error we made is we forgot to pull these 2 extra mobs on top of the other mobs. So what we ended up having to do here is do this, just going to the next pack, right? Because we don't have the time to kill these 2 mobs by themselves. Like we have to pull it into the next pack. And as you can see here, I'm babysitting this mob because I don't want to leave it in the back and let it cast. See how I kicked that cast right there? Right here, I'm just cleansing the tank. Trying to keep everyone alive. Again, very, very messy pull. Our druid died on pull, lost all of his damage, right? And he had to run all the way back. Not his fault, right? He didn't play bad. It unfortunately happened that way. So right here, I ended up bubbling because 2 of the Wranglers went off on me. I should have communicated that with my team and told them to let the Wranglers go off, because what they ended up doing is stopping both of them, and then they recast it on someone else, right? So if you ever bubble or defensive any sort of mechanic like that where your enemy, not your enemy, your partners are going to stop it, you need to tell them ahead of time, hey, don't stop this, I'm bubbling. And at the same time, you're kicking purveyors, you're kicking volleys, and you're kicking the bestial wrath from the Wranglers, and you're healing from the AoE from the harvesters. So this next boss is actually quite healing intensive. I would say it is arguably the hardest boss in this key. All you're really doing here is just trying to keep down consecrates and judgments optionally as much as you can, and preparing for the fluttering wing AoE. Ideally, you want to have you're not going to have divine toll for every single fluttering wing because they happen too often, but you're going to have to get into these bees and shoot them at the barrels. See right here, we're getting kind of cucked over here with this barrel, but we ended up getting it. Fluttering wing is coming up, but I don't really have anything. I have tears and prism. I have wogs. My rogue cloak's there, so I really only have to heal 2 people, and I trinket, so I'm basically immune. We're just doing as much damage as we can to these bees, and we're stopping these bees from casting, because if these bees ever cast, they put a bleed debuff on the target that they jump to. And what's going to happen is, if those bleed debuff, you see the bees are just bugging out right now, and they're not allowing me to shoot these barrels, and it ends up cucking us in these future bees, because now we have like 6 or 7 bees up, and we're just starting to fall more and more and more behind because this boss is so buggy, right? So we're stopping the bee stings, luckily. Now, if these bee stings go off, if a person ever gets 2 or 3 stacks, you want to try to, if you have a ton of healing, you don't want to bop them. But if you don't have a ton of healing, you want to bop them off. Because what's going to happen is, if you're healing through these bleed mechanics on this fight, you're going to fall behind, and you're not going to be able to do bees. Another thing I would advise on this fight, if you have another battle res in the party, I would never battle res anybody, because you're just going to fall behind. See, I am starting to fall very, very behind right now, right? 2 stacks go off on me. 2 stacks went off on the rogue, but I bopped it. Now I have 2 stacks, and it's like literally 2-shotting me. I barely live there. Now I'm telling my team, hey guys, get in the bees and help me, please. At this point, we have all the barrels. We're just getting in bees and shooting them to kill them. And we're kind of starting to recover, but we still have a ton of bees up. The whole point of this fight is to just get rid of those barrels and get rid of these bees as soon as possible. I hodged one of them there. I have plenty of time to heal everyone. I have about 10 seconds here before the next fluttering. I have bubble as well. I have trinket. I'm trying to do barrels here, but there's just no bees. We're gonna have an AoE right here. I need to try to prepare for this. I divine toll, wog, holy shock, wog the tank because he's getting chunked. Judgment, consecrate, keep down as much damage as I can. We have 3 bees right now, so at this point in the fight, we've recovered. I press wings here on cooldown, literally press wings on cooldown this fight. Get into the bees as much as I can. See, I almost died there. That was a really bad play by me. I should not have gotten into those bees right as the fluttering wing came out. We could have all died right there. All 3 of us could have died right there. And the boss was low enough to where we could just completely ignore the bees there. So you want to pay attention to the boss, right? Like if the boss is at like 5% health and more bees come out and more barrels come out, you can just completely ignore them and kill the boss. This next fight, unfortunately, we're not a priest, so we don't have mind control, so we can't like mind control cheese this. But Just run in there and do as much single target as you can. You can keep down consecrate and pad if you want, do whatever you want. But essentially this pull, you're literally just doing damage. There's zero healing going on this pull. You're just doing damage, that's it. Normally we would pull the side pack up here and snap it. But I think we do that later. I'm not sure why we didn't do it right away. I have to see. Now, as you can tell, guys, like, this key has been so sloppy. We've had 6 deaths. That's over 2 to 2.5 minutes off the timer alone. Probably more, to be honest, because of like cooldown usage and running back and stuff like that. But we still ended up barely timing the key. This next fight is actually quite difficult on higher key levels, because what you have to do is normally the tank will break 2 big barrels on the first frontal, so you have to heal through 2 AoE debuffs while that's happening. And after that, and I'm also pressing wings on cooldown here simply because we're short on time, so we need the most amount of damage possible. Ideally in this situation you would have held wings for the boss, okay, but I'm pressing wings on cooldown because I want to get as much cooldown usage out of wings as possible, because we're short on time, right? We should have pulled these mobs at the beginning of that pull. I'm not sure why we didn't, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. So we're about to go into the boss here after the first barrel. When you're healing the frontal, so the frontal that the tank faces at big barrels, any big barrel it breaks, it'll put up a stacking buff on your party, stacking debuff on your party. That does a ton of damage. So right now we just broke 2 barrels and we have 2 debuffs going out. I ended up bubbling and sacking, and he ended up bark skinning and ice blocking. I cleansed the debuff. I cleansed it a little too early. I should have waited for the pyromaniac to do the thing, but my rogue just cloaked anyways. So if you're doing this pull on the boss, you need to make sure you use like everything to live this, because this is the hardest part of the fight. We have a barrel going out, as well as there will be 2 random people other than the tank that get a circle on them. You need to get away from other people, not stack on them. And when that circle expires, about 1.5 seconds after it expires, it'll put a magic debuff on that person that takes damage. You want to cleanse one of them and heal the other. And you don't want to break any barrels with that. You want to just let your tank take care of the barrels. Or another thing you can do is you can pre-communicate with your tank before the key starts. Like, hey, do you want us to help break barrels, or do you want to do them by yourself, right? So like in our case, for example, our tank is doing barrels by himself. Okay, so we're not breaking barrels. Right there, I cleansed myself, but I should have cleansed the mage. Okay? I should have cleansed the mage in that situation. And now we have 3 minutes to where we're 4-manning this boss. We're forced to 4-man this boss because I made a simple mistake cleansing myself instead of cleansing the mage. So these are decisions that you're going to have to make on the fly in these key levels that will make or break you timing the key, right? Like that split second decision of me cleansing myself cost the mage's life, and it let him die. And now we just wasted probably about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes off this boss. So now the boss is at 50% health and we have 3 minutes left, and we're just doing the fight normally, right? We're still trying, we're not giving up, but we're running out of time here. And I'm running short on cooldowns, and this fight is actually insane. Like, this is a lot harder to heal than I thought. Debuffs are constantly going out. And with more people dead on this fight, right? This debuff is going out more like constantly on you, right? And the thing with Pally is very, very tanky. But if it constantly gets mechanics, it gets to a point where it starts to run out of cooldowns, and then it quickly becomes a squishy class, okay? When it's out of cooldowns. Just want to focus on dodging the puddles here. Those puddles will one-shot you, so you do not want to get hit by that. Look at that. He just hit the tank for 70% of his health, and he has like 30 million health or something crazy. Tank is still doing the fight normally. We're still going. We get 2 stacks of the debuff. I wings Divine Toll. Keep everyone alive. The debuffs are going to come out here on 2 players. Want to try to spread out. You want to try to not cleave that debuff on a person like they just did. They just cleaved the debuff on the tank there, but it's fine. He's the tank. Spread out. I'm going to cleanse myself. I always want to cleanse myself. I should have cleansed myself there. See, I'm doing a very poor job managing these debuffs here because the rogue could have cloaked as well. So now we have battle res in 3 seconds. I pre-am the let it hail mechanic. We let out a battle res, but we communicate to the mage, hey, don't take this res until this mechanic is over, so you don't get one shot randomly. Right now he's gonna wait for the waves, and he's gonna take the res, and we're gonna have less coming up in 40 seconds, but we're probably not gonna utilize it because we're running out of time here. We're gonna have like 20 seconds with this lust. 20-30 seconds. See, I bubbled there. I got the mechanic and I bubbled there, so I'm not going to get the debuff and I can cleanse the mage. Boss is at 10% health and we have less than a minute left. Nobody can die here or key. I'm trying to do as much damage as I can. I Divine Toll there because I know I'm falling behind here, right? Even with the debuff. So I'm just min-maxing my healing right now. Min-maxing all my healing. I need to try to get a tears here. It's AoE, and the boss dies. Okay. And that's it. That's a full 19 Cinderbrew Meadery walkthrough from a Holy Paladin POV, guys. If this helped you, let me know in the comments. Drop a like. I stream all my runs live on Twitch at twitch.tv/KillerKTV. Come through if you want to ask any questions or see any of these guides in real time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.